Right, yeah, so it's recording. Hello everyone. Hello, am I in the picture? Yeah? Good. Okay, so today's Winter's Day. It's the 3rd of December, and both Rebecca and myself, we're not very well, so we're going to have a nice tomato soup today. I'm going to roast tomatoes and some red peppers, and we have a nice roast tomato, roast pepper soup. Okay, so first of all I'm going to start by cutting 2 kilograms of tomatoes and then load them into a baking tray, or 2 baking trays actually. Okay, so I'll move that out of the way. I've already lined the pans with some olive oil. Okay, you don't need much, just a little splash to stop everything from sticking. Okay, so remember to keep everything clean, as clean as you can. And yeah, I'm just going to put these in, and then I'll cover them with salt in a moment. Okay, so these have been washed. I haven't done anything special to them. I haven't bothered to de-stalk them. All of that will add to the flavour when we puree the roast tomatoes. Okay, so I'm going to just squash all of these in. They don't need to be, you know, it doesn't have to look beautiful when it's in the oven. I'm just starting myself, I think. Okay, so I'll start loading the other tray now, the smaller tray. So this was 2 kilograms of tomatoes. Okay, these are just the average tomatoes that you get in your supermarket, nothing special about them. You could, I suppose, invest in maybe a sweeter tomato. But you know, these are pretty good for roasting. So what I'm going to do now, paprika, or bell pepper, as the Americans know it. And of course us Brits, we call it just red pepper. Okay, so this white pith with all the seeds in, I'm going to throw away. We don't need it for anything. People talk about there being flavour in the seeds. Not really. Nobody wants to eat that stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to dispose of it. Okay, and as you see, what I did was I actually went around the pepper. So I started there and sort of cut my way around. And yeah, of course a couple of seeds may escape, but I'm not too worried about that. Then I end up with the bottom. Take the bottom off as well, because we will use that. Okay, so and yeah, so about 3 large red bell peppers, which is about 500 grams. Okay, so now I'll take a little bit of this here off the top as well. I don't waste too much. Okay, so yeah, it's about 500 grams, half a kilogram. Okay, good. And I'm just going to rip some of these pieces off and just put them in. You don't need to chop these up because it's all going to get blended with the kitchen wand. Okay. But I do want them small enough that they sort of they char on the edges, which is of course what will give this the roast flavour. Okay, that's probably okay. That's okay. That's a good size. So put some more in here. It doesn't matter if you have more of one, you know, paprika or tomato in the other. It's all going to end up in the same pot anyway. Another important thing for me at least, is the chili. Okay, now I'm using frozen chili because yeah, we had it in the freezer already. Okay, I'm not going to bother de-seeding these, it's completely unnecessary. I've just taken the tops of the pepper sprouts and I'll just put one here. Okay, now I've got 3/4 of a garlic. If you're a big fan of garlic, you could put whole garlic in. You can leave the garlic out. I wouldn't recommend it. And what I've done is I've cut the bottom off the garlic. Okay, just pull it apart. I haven't bothered taking the skin off. I'm just going to sort of spread them around a little bit. Okay, so it's 3/4 of a bulb of garlic, like I said. If you really like the whole one, if you're not a big fan, then 1/4 or a half I think is okay. Now, the next step is much more important. I've got a salt grinder. Okay, and I'm going to cover these in salt, and then I'm going to put some more oil on top. Okay, now doing this means that you don't have to put salt in later on. Okay, I will put some in, but you don't have to. Okay, so a generous amount of salt. Okay, so another splash of oil, and then I'll throw in some fresh basil leaves on top, and then this will be ready to go in the oven. Okay, so that's the reason why I didn't put loads of olive oil there in the first place, because it's better off as a topping. So now, freshly washed, freshly dried basil leaves. Try to clean as you go. It helps you prepare then for the next stages of making the soup. Okay, now we just have to wait for the oven to get up to 200 degrees, and then these will go in for half an hour. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to make the stock. Okay, so in this vessel here, I have a teaspoon of salt, and I have 6 teaspoons of tomato puree. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I have some dry parsley. Okay, and I'm not going to be too exact with this. I'm just going to put a bit on my hand, which is a bit more than a teaspoon. Okay, so in between a teaspoon and a tablespoon. Okay, and I'm just going to add that in as well. And yeah, once the water's gone in, I think I'm going to use about a pint of water. So that's just over 500 millilitres, about 570 millilitres, we say. Yeah, to that, and then I'm going to give it a stir. And yeah, as soon as the vegetables have roasted, they'll go into a big pot and they'll be blended along with the tomato stock. And then at some point we'll put in some cream, and we'll do a short tasting and see if it needs anything else. Okay, see you later. Okay, so now I have the things in the pot. I'm going to put some water in. So I'm not going to be exact and measure it all out, but I know I'm going to get that to about the halfway line in the pot. Okay, so that's about it, and then I'm just going to stir it in until everything is well mixed together. Okay, and that already smells a little bit like a soup, and this is going to be the stock, okay? I'm not going to use much more than that, because I know there'll be a lot of liquid that comes from the tomatoes, and I don't want this to be overpowering the flavour of the soup. Okay, so this is just a nice little backup. And for those of you who want to know why I wouldn't put the cream in at this stage, well, actually this will be too much acid in this, and the cream will actually curdle if I were to put the cream in this now. Okay, but I'm going to have a little taste with my finger. I know it's a little bit naughty, but yeah, I mean that's the perfect stock already. And yeah, by the time that these have roasted, okay, the flavour will also have come out of the parsley as well, so all of that flavour will be brought together. Speaking of the tomatoes and the paprika, it now needs to go into the oven. Okay, so I've got 2 trays. Okay, and it's going to take up 2 spaces in the oven. Okay, so on top I'm going to put the greatest amount, which is this one. This is the larger tray. Okay, this is going to go onto the top because it needs the most heat. Okay, just under that, on the middle of the oven, I'll put the smaller tray. Okay, so please film. Okay, so can you come a little bit closer, please, so people can see it? Okay, so you give them about half an hour, and we see how they turn out. Okay. Good. Pause, please. Yeah. Okay, good. So that's the first tray out. Okay. Now I'll be over in a second. Don't worry. About the pause, I can edit that later. Okay, so now the first tray is out. I'm going to add it to this pot here. Okay, good. So right, so I'll try to do this carefully and so that everybody can see. Okay, so do you have a good view of that? Okay, so the temptation is just to throw the whole pan in. I don't really want to do that in case I tip it everywhere. Okay, so take the tomatoes out first. You see the colour on them. They're not black, but they are very soft, and they will blend very nicely. Okay, and the juice in there, I can tell you, is fantastic. I really wish you could smell this. Okay, so here's the paprika, and that black stuff on the side is what is going to give the roast flavour. Okay. So it's not burnt per se. Okay, these leaves as well, they've crunched up nicely. They're really flaky. Okay, and all that is part of the flavour. Okay, so some of the garlic here, and that'll be like an absolute paste inside. Okay, see that's just dropped out. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so just one more time. Okay, so it's like paste inside that garlic. Sorry, I know that dropped out a little bit too quickly. I couldn't really show you. I'll try to find another one. Okay, so that's just come straight away from the skin. You see? Yeah, and it's a little bit hot to hold. But I don't know if you can see that. Okay, that's really soft. Absolutely delicious. Okay. Good, so I think I can do this a little bit more quickly now, and by the time I've done this and I've tipped the liquid out, I'll be ready to take the second tray out of the oven, and then we'll give it a little blitz. Okay, so the chili, this here, okay, that's nice and soft, nice and roasted. Okay, there are a few seeds in there, but that's not going to be a problem. Oh, okay, so I just splashed myself. Please remember, everyone, to be careful. Okay, because it is hot, and I am kind of used to burning myself, but it does hurt. Okay, so just be careful. Okay, so that's that's almost me done with this one. Okay, and before you pick the tray up to tip the juices out, your tray may still be hot, and that's why I'm putting the gloves back on. Okay, and if you'd like to take a look at the juices inside there, okay, there's some oil and some nice colours going on in there. So, all of that is going into the pot, okay. I've tipped it directly into the pot. Some people might like to tip it into the stock. I mean, it's all going in the pot anyway, so, you know. Okay. Now. Okay. So, now I have the second tray. Okay, I'm going to turn the oven off. Okay. So now, same thing again. Okay. Take the pieces out. I'm not going to tip all of this straight in. That wouldn't be a good idea. So what happened as well is the pieces at the bottom will be held to heat by the pieces on the top. Okay. So this is going to blend absolutely lovely. That's why I didn't want to overcook everything. I still want to maintain some of that texture. Okay, so another roast chili there, beautiful colour. Okay, well, some of this could have done with a bit more roasting, but like I said, I want to keep some of the texture. Okay, you might notice I haven't added any sugar. I don't really intend adding any sugar. I think the sugar should really come from the tomatoes and from the paprika. Okay. In retrospect, I could have added maybe a bit more paprika or bell pepper, and you know, maybe have had a bit more of a sweet taste from it. But I really don't like using raw sugar in soups. Okay, so now if you'd like to take a look at this tray here, I have plenty more garlic in here. If you see, I can actually just, you know, sort of give it a bit of a pinch, yeah, and the skin comes straight off. Okay, and all of that's going in nice and softly. Okay, same with this one here. Okay, that's a little bit hot. Okay, and as soon as I've cleared this tray, I'm going to tip the juices into. Okay, good. Once again, I'm just tasting the oil and the other remnants from this. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, once again, please be careful. Use gloves. Okay, so there are a couple of dry bits in the tray, and I'm just going to give it a little shake to try and loosen some of the little stuck-on bits in the pan. Okay, as you can see, there's some leaves in there. Okay, and yeah, the more it sticks to your pan, the more flavour you have. Okay, so try to get all those little bits. Okay, good. So now I'm going to take the kitchen wand. Okay, and I'm going to give this a little bit of a blitz. Okay, so hopefully it extends where I want to go. Oh, okay, maybe we have to move over a little bit. Or maybe I can actually move this, might be a little bit safer. Okay, good. Start off slowly, because this stuff could splash everywhere, okay? Very slowly, straight down to the bottom. Okay, and just pulse it a little bit at a time. Okay. bit by bit. Okay, and then you can start being a little bit more confident and moving it around a bit. Okay, it's important to remember when using this wand, don't pull the stick out until you've heard the noise stop, okay? Because otherwise you could lift it out, your finger may not be off it, but it might still be spinning and it might split the... Taking some time to do that. I'm sure it's working very well. That's enough? Maybe, huh? camera rest a second. Okay, so what do you think? Doesn't feel like there's any bits in there now. Okay. Okay, I think that's fine now. I'll move that on to the hob. I'll have a little taste of that as it is. Okay, that's not bad so far. Okay, so I'll put this on high first of all and bring it to the boil. Okay, good. Now I'll actually use. I think I could go ahead and just use a soup spoon for this, couldn't I? Maybe. Okay, so I'll just use a ladle. Bring this up to the boil. I'm sorry, there's not great light here, is there? Okay, good. So, I'll wait till that begins to bubble, first of all. Sorry? Okay. Alright, okay. Okay, good. Excuse my coughing. Both my wife and I are not very well, though I'm almost over my cold, thankfully. Hopefully this soup is going to help out. So, yeah, I'm just waiting for this to bubble now. As soon as I start to see a bubble, I'm going to put the stock in, and then I'm going to put the cream in. Okay, so first of all, the stock is fairly cool now, so I'm going to bring this to the boil. I'm going to put the stock in, bring it all back up to the boil, put the cream in. I'm going to give it a good stir, and I'm going to taste it, and then bring it all to the boil and get it ready to serve. Okay, good. So we're just waiting now. That's all. And the consistency is quite good. The colour I'm quite impressed with, despite the fact that there is no cream in there at the moment, and though it tastes actually quite creamy. It's quite good. You can taste the sort of roast flavours in there, so you can taste that it has been in the oven. And I'm quite interested how it'll come out now with the stock. I mean, I could have just left that without the stock and the cream, and I could eat this on its own, but it would be missing maybe then a little bit of the salt, and maybe some of the tomato flavour. Okay, this is quite nice, and I'm just going to get something a moment. And ask my camera assistant to tell me what she thinks of this. Okay. Okay, so it appears that it's a little bit spicy on its own. Okay. Okay, you can leave the chili out. Okay, it is a little bit spicy. It's not deadly spicy. But remember, inside is coming in the tomato stock, and then later the cream, which will counteract that. It probably could, in all fairness, do with maybe a little bit of more salt and pepper. But I want to test it after I've put the stock in, because there is salt in the stock. Okay. I've got a feeling that I will have to salt it anyway. I think it won't be enough, but I think it's a good start. I mean, my wife and I are both big fans of seasoning, so salt and pepper. But remember, you can always add salt. So if you put too much salt in the beginning, you're never going to get that out. So, you know, start pretty much what I've done, and you can always add salt later. And salt is one of those ingredients that, you know, you can use it raw. Salt doesn't have to be cooked to have its flavour. You could add it at the table, okay? But yeah, quite good.
If you don't stop tasting, it's gone before you can put the stock in.
Yes, I know. Right, so that should... Yeah, it looks like it's beginning to bubble now. Okay, so I'm just going to give the stock another quick whisk before it goes in. Make sure there's nothing stuck at the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to do this carefully. I'm going to pour this in slowly, and I'm just going to... Okay, well, I did say slowly, but didn't work out that way. It is blending okay though. I mean, it's not like... oh, there we go, it's blended straight in. So... Alright. Okay, it actually hasn't done that much to the colour. I mean, it's still that orangey colour. Okay. Flavour. Okay, it's taking the spice out a little bit. Okay. So I'll bring this to the boil. I'll put the cream in. I might end up putting some more tomato puree in there, simply because we are losing the colour a little bit. Okay, remember, you know, cooking recipes are never perfect. Okay, it all depends on things like the tomatoes. Okay, I was quite happy with the quality of tomatoes with regards to, you know, you could use them in sandwiches, salads and that kind of stuff. But I think on this occasion, they haven't provided much flavour for the soup. But I can back that up with a little bit of tomato puree. Okay. Remember to start with small amounts of everything, because, you know, you could always add extra salt later on or extra tomato puree. That's something that you can always do later on. Okay. So, and what do you think, Rebecca?
I'll wait until the cream is in.
Okay, good. So, I think that's ready. So this is 400 grams or 400 milliliters of your average whipping cream. Okay, it's none of this 10% stuff. I think this is, what is it, probably about 30% or something.
Like 40?
Might even be more. 30%, 30 gram per 100. So there we go. Okay. Like I said, the reason why I didn't add this to the stock earlier on is because it would curdle. I mean, I'm quite happy now though that it's not so acidic that the cream could curdle. This will bring like quite a cheesy flavour to the soup. But we won't know until we've simmered it down for about 20 minutes how it will finally be. But I am going to take the measure of adding in a little bit more tomato puree. It's just that I've honestly forgotten where I put it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So. Right. This is not good etiquette. Okay. But I'm just dropping it in. Okay, and I'm just hoping that it's not too bitter in the end. As you can see, that's just disappeared, hasn't it? Okay, so on final taste, well, last but final, because I need to decide to put more salt in or not.
More salt.
More salt, okay. Lots more salt.
Hold on. Thanks enough.
Yeah, I hope so, huh? Okay, so we're going to leave that simmer for 20 minutes. Yeah, okay. So, like I said, we're just going to leave that simmer for 20 minutes and we'll come back later to test it again. Okay, so, see you later. Okay, good. So, as you can see, the soup's ready now. It's been simmered and it's ready for presentation now. Okay, I've done... to serve, I've taken a leftover bread roll, and I've just basically fried it in butter. If you would like to come to the pan a little bit. Okay, yeah. So I've just chopped it up, fried it in a little bit of butter. Okay, a little bit difficult to get out the pan. Ow, it's hot still. Okay, so the presentation on mine's not so great. Rebecca's I've taken a little bit more care with. Okay, and yeah, I've got the texture and everything correct, and yeah, I think it's a great accompaniment to the soup. Okay, so yeah, thank you for watching the video. I hope that you all enjoy it, and I hope that your soup turns out as good as ours have. Okay, so see you next time. Ciao for now.